Welcome to another week of Ether Raids. This is basically going to be a post-recording since I played these and I was just too lazy to do any updates for the commentary. So basically what we're going to have is just an overview of what took place on some of these matchups. This first one here was a really tough match to start off the week, and we have a few new teams that I was team building, trying to build around. Since Boulder's bonus this week, I really wanted to get Nurgle in there just to see how fun that could be. Just a lot of different, compositions that I was trying to put together just to see how they would all pan out. So this is the first one, and or the first iteration of the team composition that I had in mind. Didn't necessarily go the best, as you will see as this one plays out. And what it really boils down to was, again, that problem that I've been mentioning with Rune, is that he's just kind of stuck there, not able to get in, not able to initiate, and I still have not been able to figure that out. I don't know if kind of Wings of Mercy Seal, that would be really helpful. Sullacring on him, it's really down to whether or not we have warp denial on the enemy team, this is a really good team, by the way. Without Boulder here, there really wouldn't be much of an option to try to play into it. And then also we have Nurgle here to help us out as well. I really like the idea of trying to get Nurgle in here to steal bonuses, because everyone has bonuses now and Neathhogger is not really around anymore, and especially since it's fire season, I feel like this is the best opportunity to get Nurgle in here. The problem is just unit slots and action economy, and that's the thing that I really haven't figured out as of yet, to try to get Nurgle in there, and also have the units around Nurgle and Boulder to try to get the map cleared after the fact.
Where to now?
So as it is, this team, the layout here, it's kind of lacking probably like two actions to be functional. If Boulder had like a way to get an additional action on her own, then that would actually make this fantastic, really easy to use. But currently it's this team, as you'll see, short some actions here, especially with the trap placement. And then the way how Ether Raids is these days, my god, I gotta tell you, it's like turn one or nothing. I feel like we're back into the legendary Sigurd meta. The reason that they introduced safety fence, and now safety fence is kind of like dead in the water, just a little bit, teeny bit. But we're definitely back in the legendary Sigurd meta, where defenses now, because of the threat range and how far they can reach, they go all the way down on pretty much turn one. And they're pretty much able to, take you out on that first turn if you mess up. So you don't really get much of an option or chance to set up unless you're running the safety fence, which I'm not. So you don't really get much of a chance to set up unless you have like empty spaces in your back row, which is also another option to use or to build around. I'm actually leaning more towards that, to that second possibility, just leaving an empty space, getting rid of the healing tower, to be honest. I really love the healing tower. I'm not gonna I really love having the healing tower, but I'm leaning more and more every week to the idea of just removing it altogether, because
a just task.
Yeah, I don't know, it's not that beneficial currently. I don't know, it's not that it's not beneficial, it's just that the value of it versus just having that extra space is it's weighing on me right now. It's weighing. I'm trying to make a decision and I haven't made up my mind just yet. Okay, so there we go. So the problem here, the reason why I was saying that Boulder needs an extra action, is that there are situations where she just fails to take out BK if he's properly supported, which is also why I brought Nurgle to steal all of these bonuses, because funny bonuses, more power on Boulder. It's really just to make her stronger and have her do more damage and just enjoy the unit a bit more. But yeah, sometimes he fails to KO some Black Knight builds, and basically Nurgle is a way to ensure that she gets that. There's probably other supports that you could use to ensure that, but for now I just wanted to test it out to see how it would work. And to be fair, it did work very well, the combination of Balder and Nurgle. It worked really well, but, you know, like I was saying, it's just everything around that was not good enough. To be honest, I'd like to drop Peony for this particular team combination, even though she's a fantastic mythic. It's nothing with her capabilities in terms of being a dancer and all that. It's just the additional act. I want like one more action out of my dancer. I would swap Peony for duo Peony if I could, but I can't because I have to run 2 mythics. That's why Rune is here, because he has to be here so that I can get the extra slot. Or I could drop him and run another light mythic, but then who really would I run that's going to help me out with like mobility, which is the current problem. I mean, Dagger, limited mobility, all of them have the same problem, except maybe there are no Cav mythics. Well, there are beast calves, but still, getting from the back row all the way to the top of the map on the first turn sometimes takes 2 actions to get up there, or you're going to waste a reposition or a smite or something on someone, and this team doesn't have the luxury of losing actions because just not enough economy here for me to just give up an action for reposition. So that's ultimately the problem with this particular team composition. Not enough action economy. And I haven't figured out how to solve that particular conundrum. So far, we're like Friday night and I still haven't figured it out. Ultimately, what I ended up doing was swapping out some of these units. So here you see me basically using pretty much all of my action economy and failing here to take out Rhea, which is another issue that this team has. There just aren't that many units on this team that are able to take out Rhea. Rune, ironically, is one of the units that can take out Rhea, but just it's so difficult to get him into position, like I mentioned before. I don't know if I should give him like the Sigurd ring or something, or I gave him the Micaiah ring to see if I could, you know, swap around and get him up there, but then trap placement becomes a problem. I feel like this team needs a dagger unit with disarm trap to, you know, help out with that. These are all thoughts that I had after the fact, after this particular match. I just put this team together. I didn't really practice with it, and I just went in with Nurgle. I figured it would be enough with Nurgle and Golveg, but it ended up not being exactly what I needed it to be. I think Fatal Smoke there on Golveg, I would have gotten that KO, but I don't know how I would fit that in. I would have to drop her C skill, but she kind of needs the null follow-up, so I don't like the idea of dropping it for Fatal Smoke. So I was thinking maybe to outsource that to another unit, which made me lean more towards Hearthvelger, which you'll see I did a swap and put her in later on and put Rune into the extra slot. You'll see that a little bit later. But then that kind of gets hard countered if there's like a cleanser like Micaiah or something there. But yeah, it was tough. It was tough trying to figure out how to put the team together. I really still wanted to, you know, figure a way out to get the 2 composition Boulder and Nurgle to work. But I think ultimately I ended up swapping out the majority of the units, and it just the idea failed pretty much. Yeah, that's kind of where it ended up. So this first match, as you can see here, not much that I can do because essentially I'm out of actions. Everyone has moved. I'm wondering if I had waited the turn, if it would be a little bit more in my favor, but then also space. There just wasn't enough space to avoid everyone. There are some units that would have gotten +1 movement, threatening more space. I think I would have needed to remove the healing tower so that space could have been available to access. There's just a lot going on here that just made it just not work out for me. And ultimately, it kind of came down to if I had been able to take out Rhea and get my duo button fully active, I feel like we could have done a bit more. But yeah, just Nurgle can also take out Rhea. But as you can see from Nurgle's positioning, he's nowhere close to being able to get up there. Yeah. I feel like ultimately what this team wants is Tina. Or maybe Young Emerin, which I don't have. So there's Tina, Young Emerin, Sakura, maybe if you could figure out a way to fit her in.
We mustn't get lost.
And then also, you have Happy from the latest summer banner. Those units would have really helped out with mobility once we could get rid of Rhea, which again was the other problem because she has the warp bubble and the C skill. And yeah, this is just me trying to figure out how to get rid of this Rhea, and it is just not happening at all. We get her down to 1, she heals up, and essentially would be wasting an action to try to attack her. I'm thinking Rune with Fatal Smoke would do the job, but then I'm also kind of running Rune with Miracle, and he needs the quick impulse the time pulse to get there. Yeah, it's just too many variables to try to consider, and we ended up giving up. So yeah, that was that first match. This is the second match we ran into, and here you can see pretty much the same team, but we removed Nurgle. Much easier second match. Right after the fact, I kind of just was like, that just did not work in the slightest. So I put together another team, and here we go with this one. As I said, easier defense to play into. Not a lot stopping me from just walking over them with Camilla, which is kind of what I did. The only problem was canceling away if I kind of needed to do that. And this week, it's pretty much all going to be Boulder. I have Boulder in every team. And then also I have some matches with Sharena as well, because I've been practicing, trying to get familiar with how to play with her. So far, she's very much, well, if anyone is unaware, which I'm sure everyone's probably already played with her, but I haven't. So far, I have to say she's very much like Bridal Sharena, in terms of how I would have used Bridal Sharena, which was to reposition, put her on the trap, and then take action from there. That's kind of what I did with Bridal Sharena.
Don't be seen.
And I feel like this Sharena works in a similar way. If it would be interesting if you could get both of them onto a team, because that's a lot of actions there. If you could get both of them onto a team, but I don't know. Again, there's just not enough spots for units. And the thing is, if you go to turn 3 to get that extra unit, a lot of times you're able to win based on your team composition. A lot of times you're going to be able to win with just your 6 units, 6v6, 6v7. A lot of times you'll just be able to clear the map with just that. So there's usually not a ton of value to wait until that 3rd turn to get that extra unit. Regardless of who that extra unit is, there usually isn't just a ton of value to wait that long. 1, and 2, as I said before, lately you just don't have the time in terms of developing or waiting to do that. So a lot of different factors to consider. Yeah, it's a lot to try to figure out when building teams for the current meta that we're in. Well, I guess it's not a lot. It's really a lot if you want to use specific units, which is what I'm trying to do. Yeah, it makes it a little bit harder to be unique with your team compositions. Yeah, that's kind of what it boils down to. So this was the first team composition that I kind of came up with, or the second team composition that I kind of came up with. The other one with Sharena was really just to, as I said, to test her out to see how she functions. It went well, to be fair. I feel like the teams that I built with Sharena worked a little bit better than the Nurgle idea. And where I kind of landed on the Nurgle idea is that, okay, so yes, it's great to steal bonuses like Imbue and what's the others? Reflex that Black Knight has. Yes, it's great to steal those bonuses, but the downside is that you still want to be able to get that KO. You want to take out, let's say, Black Knight on that first combat. So while it is good to have the additional bonuses on your units and to steal the support from the opponent's units, if you can't take out Black Knight on that first combat, then you've essentially wasted an action, and there's just no way to get that back. So ultimately what I've done is I've traded out the option, the idea of stealing bonuses in exchange for just going with either an additional action or more damage. So an additional action in the form of another dancer or another support unit that can help assist with taking out Flat Knight in that first combat. So that's kind of where I landed on with the Nurgle idea. Even though I still really like the Nurgle idea, like for this team in particular, I've put him as the extra slot unit so that he can come out on turn 3 if we ever get there. But currently, I feel like just after like playing with the team that I built, that's where I landed. Like it's better off if you one shot or one turn or one action, one round, whoever it is that you're attacking, instead of waiting to, or instead of wasting an action just to ting off the opponent or to waste an action to steal his buffs. The only case that I think that it's more beneficial to waste that action is with Lapis or with Tina, because of the fact that they, because of the fact that they activate or the fact that they can act as warp beacons to allow the rest of your team to come in, and that is more beneficial than the fact that they'll waste an action. So I was trying to come up with some team compositions that would include Bridal Lapis, because she still does very well against Rhea in terms of at least surviving. And that's really all that she needs to do. She just needs to survive. The problem is, whoever is going to come in after her has to be able to take out any of the warp inhibitors, like Rhea, like Armored Bro, whoever it may be, because you don't want to be wasting actions when you don't have a lot of turns to play or attack into a map. So here we go with another matchup here. Kind of just ran on into another match, and this one is with Veronica. This is the team that I had with Veronica. No Boulder on this team. This is a team for this week that has the most actions. And remember I was saying that I was trying to figure out how to use Veronica successfully. I feel like as you'll see this one play out, this is probably the best usage of her. It works really well, although she loses her first attack refresh thing. Well, basically, I'm not using her to attack on the first initiation. She's basically a reposition bot for the first one, and then for the follow-up, we'll find out if she can kill someone or not. And then usually she fails, which is why she's not like a primary initiator. She's more of a secondary follow-up unit to initiate. But I think she works really well. This is my favorite team for the light season currently because of Yunaka. And now Veronica here just gives me another option to have someone sit on a trap and get rid of it essentially. So this is a good team. I feel like this is a good team. It's just I'm a little bit not well practiced with it. So the better I get with this team, the more often I'll probably use it. Well, I don't know. Veronica is currently in the bonus slot, so unless June is bonus or something for the upcoming week, then there's probably no way that I'm going to be able to use this team again. Upcoming light season. There's probably no way that I'll be able to use this team again. But for what it is for this week, very fun team to use this one. It's been going fairly well this week. Haven't had too many issues in the teams that I've used it against. But yeah, for the first, like I was saying, for the first initiation in terms of having that bonus stealing support versus being able to take out your opponent, the value is definitely in being able to take out your opponent on that first initiation. So it's good if you can combine the two. Like if you have a team composition where Boulder is powerful enough to take out the opponent on the first turn, then that's fantastic, because then that allows Nurgle or whoever, you basically you're not wasting any action economy if that's the case. But it's kind of 50-50 I've found, and it's more consistent to just go full nuke support and have whoever your nuke is be able to take out the enemy opponent on the first attack. I find that is more valuable than to potentially steal bonuses after the fact. Unless you want to, and then there's Tina, but she doesn't steal the bonuses until turn 2, essentially. She doesn't do it off the bat. You don't get everything off the bat, so you're waiting the turn essentially, which is essentially just a complete waste, in my opinion. If you can get it done on turn 1, just get it done on turn 1. Otherwise, feel free to wait around if you have the opportunity to do so. Just wait until turn 3, basically. But yeah, this was my first week basically using Sharena. She's actually really fun. She takes care of units like Rhea very well. She does a very good job against Rhea because of the potent hits, the 3 hits. That extra attack actually helps in that matchup. Overall, I like her application. I like the way that she plays as opposed to her bridal version. I think the fact that she's a ranged unit works out a lot more in her favor in comparison to the bridal version, which was melee, and it kind of limited her attack potential and her range, I feel. So, well, naturally, because 2 range versus 1, but I feel like this ranged version of Sharena is a lot better. I don't know if it's just because of the time that has passed or just because of the fact that her application in terms of what she's able to do, being 2 range is more beneficial than 1, because one of the things that used to happen with her melee version is that she depended on that XL so much to get into position or to do damage a lot of times, and also to survive. She really depended on moving and getting the full buffs out of XL that a lot of times she would miss skills. I would end up placing her on a gravity trap, and she would just get stuck because 1 movement, gravity, can't move. Versus this version, the only thing she really loses is the cancel distance, which I'm trying to be a little bit more careful about, because I did mess it up I think once. But she doesn't lose out a lot of firepower in terms of, because of the fact that she's 2 range. So I like that a lot more about this version of Sharena. It's really beneficial, to be honest. I enjoy using the Sharena. She's very good. I think she still could be better, but for what she is, for what she does, I really like her as a unit. Do I think she's better than Boulder? No. I still think Boulder is... I've been hearing a lot of people saying Byleth is the best unit from the banner. Not my opinion. I still think Boulder is the best. Yeah, I think Boulder will last a bit longer. I do like the fact that that Byleth is, however, able to solo, what's his face? Diamant, though. I think that's a really positive thing in Byleth's favor. GG's.